Hi, I'm Glenn Rogers, and this is American Perspectives. In this video today, we're going to talk about equality. We're going to try to define it. What is equality? How does it work? What does it mean? And we're going to get to that in just a minute. But first, I'd like to ask you to do something for me. It would be very helpful to this channel if you would subscribe. Go down below and click the red button. And by subscribing, you're not obligating yourself in any way. It doesn't cost you anything. Nobody's going to bother you. But by doing that and maybe hitting the thumbs up button, you're telling YouTube that you like the content of this channel, and that kind of moves our video up in their algorithm so that more people have an opportunity to see it. So it would be very helpful to us if you would do that. Okay, so equality. What is this thing? When I was teaching in my college classes, we would talk about equality, and I would ask the students to define equality. I said, what does that mean, to be equal or to be a society of equals? And they had a very hard time defining it. And I would explain to them that one of the things that we learn from philosophy, specifically the ancient philosopher Socrates, is that you can't really discuss something intelligently if you don't know what it means, if you can't define it. And so today we're going to try to define equality, what it means, and how you achieve it, how you have it, okay? Some people say that equality just means being the same. Everybody's the same. We're all just people, so we're all the same. Well, I understand sort of what they're getting at when they say that, but the fact is, when you look around us and you look at every people, one of the things you realize is that we're not all the same. We're really pretty different. So what does it mean? Does it just simply mean the same, being the same, or the same kind of something? And I think that's too simplistic. It means a little bit more than that. I think what equality means is that we're all humans, and so we share a human nature that makes us all have the same worth and value. And because of that, we deserve to be treated with respect, with dignity. In other words, in ways that reflect the worth and value that we have as human beings. Now, I think that works as a very basic kind of definition, but even that's not enough, and we have to go a step further. When we do, when we really think about equality, I think we can see that there are at least a couple of different kinds of equality. There's the intrinsic equality, which is really what that definition involves, that people have the same value, the same standing, the same dignity as human beings, that sort of thing. And that this is what the Constitution had in mind when the Founding Fathers said, you know, all people are created as equals. So there's that kind of equality, intrinsic equality. And that's the very basic and fundamental kind of equality. But that's not the only kind, and there's another way that we need to think about it. And in my writing, I've referred to this as situational equality. My life situation is different from yours. Yours is different from his or hers. Hers is different from yet another person, okay? We're not all the same in regards to how we are, who we are, in the situation that we have in our lives. We're all different. And sometimes it's very simple, very basic differences. You know, some people are tall and athletic and strong and fast, and some people are not. Some people are short and not so athletic. Some people are really very smart, and some people are, you know, pretty average when it comes to the smart business. Some of us are better looking than others. Some of us are more educated. Some people are much more charismatic. Some people are very driven to succeed, okay? When we make choices, some people make different choices. People are just different. They do different things, and they're different in all sorts of ways. And I think it's important that we acknowledge that. We are not a society where everybody is just the same. And here's the thing about differences. Differences generate inequalities. I remember when we were little kids in school, and I'm talking now, little kids, maybe 6 years old, 7 years old. The teacher would take us out sometime at recess, and she would say, okay, now we're going to run races today. So everybody line up on this line, and when I blow the whistle, I want you to run to that fence as fast as you can, and whoever gets there first is the winner. Okay, maybe you have memories similar to that. So she would blow the whistle, and we'd always take off and run. And because we'd done it several times, we kind of knew how it was going to go. There was always one boy who would win. He was the fastest. Let's say he's Johnny. And then there's always another kid, Billy, who always comes in last. And sometimes Billy would get upset about that. He'd stomp his foot or do something, and he'd say, not fair. He can run faster than I can. Well, he was right. Johnny can run faster than him. But what about the it's not fair part? Is it the case that it's not fair because Johnny can run faster than Billy? Well, no, it's not really unfair. It's just the way things are. Maybe Johnny's parents are very athletic, and maybe he just inherited some of their genetics, and he's a good athlete. He runs fast. Maybe Billy's parents weren't really very athletic, but they're pretty smart. And so they spend a lot of time talking with Billy and working with him, and he's really good at arithmetic. Go back into class, and Billy always makes 100% on the arithmetic test. Johnny doesn't. Okay, sometimes inequalities of one kind equal out with equalities of another sort. It just depends. But is it really unfair? Are these inequalities somehow a problem? And I think the answer is no. These are perfectly normal, natural things, and they just make us different. And some of those differences generate inequalities. But those aren't bad things. They're natural things. And so we shouldn't be upset about them. It would, in fact, be impossible to create a society where there weren't any inequalities without spending a great deal of time and effort and money and everything else in a sort of artificial social engineering to make society where everybody was the same. I'm not sure it could be done, but even if we could do that, would we want to? Would we want to have a society where everybody was the same? And I think the answer is no. In a world where inequalities abound, because that's just the way things are, how do we go about creating a society of equals? That should be the question that we're really looking to answer. We want to be a society of equals because we all have the same intrinsic equality, intrinsic worth and value, which creates, equality among us, even though we're different, and that creates some inequality. Well, how do we go about creating a society of equals? Well, I think there's certain basic things that need to be the case. Number one, everybody has to be treated with respect and dignity because we're a society of equals. And people need to have equal access and equal opportunity. People need to be able to compete in a way where they feel like they have an equal shot at succeeding. Now, we can't mistake that to think that because of the way a person feels, that always reflects the reality. Some people may not feel like they have an equal opportunity when in fact they do. Some people, their feelings don't reflect the way things really are. We know that. Psychologists have known that for a long time. But people have to at least be in a situation in society where they understand equal access, equal opportunity, equal treatment under the law is there for everybody, and that equal treatment equal responsibility exists for people as well. I'm here, I'm self-sufficient, I'm responsible for me, and I have equal access, equal opportunity. See, people need to know that, and they need to live by that. And pretty much we have those things in our society, don't we? I mean, we have laws that make it necessary for there to be equal access. You can't discriminate against somebody for some reason, whether it's because of their sex or their age or their ethnicity or race or because of their religion. You can't discriminate against people because of those things. They have to have equal access and equal opportunity. So those things by law are part of our society. Now, we still have some work to do in making those things work for everybody, but we're headed down the right road in that regard, being a society of equals. One of the things that people complain a lot about when they're talking about inequalities of different kinds is the idea of income inequality. And I would suggest that that's probably one of the last things that we should think about if we're going to think about the inequalities and how to address them. Now, why would I say that? Why would I suggest that income inequality isn't something that we need to look into right away and try to fix it? Well, because I think income inequality is the natural outgrowth of a number of different things that are themselves natural. In other words, if someone has money, let's assume they didn't inherit it, and most people who have wealth did not inherit it. Okay, there have been a number of studies done here in America to show that most people who are quite wealthy earned their wealth. They started a business or they engaged in activities of different kinds that generated their wealth, so they didn't inherit it, okay? So how do wealthy people get wealthy? How do people who have good income come by that income? Well, one is personal potential. You know, somebody just has the skills it takes to earn income, probably because they stayed in school, they earned a degree, they developed some marketable skills, okay, and now they have the potential for earning. Another thing is the choices that they make in regards to career. They chose a career where making a good amount of money was possible. Some people are more driven than other people, driven to succeed. Some people work harder and some people work smarter. And so people who are like that are going to have more income. Okay, it's just simply inevitable. Well, does that mean it's somehow unfair or unjust? I don't think so. It's just the way things are. It's like if somebody is very good looking and capable of acting, pretending to be something they're not, they can probably make an awful lot of money in Hollywood. I don't have those skills. I can't do that. So does that mean it's unfair that I can't make that money and somebody else can make a great deal of money doing that? No, it's not unfair. What about career choices, choosing what you do for a living? I chose to be an academic, an educator. Well, there's not a lot of money associated with that. You don't generate a lot of income being a professor. Okay, my choice. So I make X number of dollars. Somebody else makes a different choice and they make a lot more money. That's their choice. There's nothing unfair about that or unjust about that. Most income inequality is normal and natural in that it grows out of choices that people have made. Now, if somebody engages in some level of manipulation, social engineering of some sort, and creates inequality, then that's bad. That would be bad, and we wouldn't want that. But that hasn't happened here in America. I assure you that hasn't happened. And so we don't really have much of an excuse. Those of us who don't have a lot of money don't have much of an excuse except to look to ourselves and the choices that we have made. Income equality is not something that everybody can achieve any more than everybody can be athletic and good looking, or everybody can be charismatic, or whatever. Many of those things are just, for lack of a better phrase, the luck of the draw, okay? But what does it mean to have a society of equals? It doesn't mean everybody having the same amount of money, or everybody living in the same big house, or driving the same fancy car, or anything like that. It means being treated with respect. All people deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. And it doesn't matter whether you live in the big house in the right neighborhood, or whether you're a homeless person and don't have a house at all. You're still a human being. You have the same worth and value as every other human being, and you should be treated with the respect that you deserve. Equal access, equal opportunity, equal treatment under the law. Those are the things that must be in place if we're going to have a society of equals. Well, again, if you like this video today, think about hitting the subscribe button below, hit the thumbs up button. I hope you like the content. I'm glad you tuned in today. I hope you will again. Thank you.